Wait. I added up the years, and I'm telling y'all, 37 years ago was the first time I wore a fragrance. Am I that old? It was the summer 1987. I got into my dad's stash and I splashed on Old Spice. Yep, I said Old Spice. A young Cara Jermaine was 12 years old, turning 13 that summer. Splashed on some Old Spice and I thought I was player. I'm walking around smelling like an 80-year-old man. But guess what? That was the first and the last time I wore Old Spice. But now that I am actually old, I can wear Old Spice, but I refuse to. I keep my collection fresh and I only buy things that I know for a fact that I will enjoy. In today's video, guys, I want to give you guys the top five fragrances of mine that I just don't wear anymore. And I'm going to give you guys the reason why I don't wear them, all right? There have been plenty, and I mean bags of fragrances that I have either given away, and anyone that knows me knows that I give fragrances away. I don't sell them, and I've never traded for fragrances. If I don't like it anymore, I will give it to someone that does. Or if I have a family member or a friend that likes a fragrance of mine in my collection more than I do, I will give it to them, and they know I will. But today, the top five fragrances, all of these fragrances have been in a video or two of mine over the last year and a half that I've been on YouTube, and I want to give you guys these fragrances and a breakdown on why they just don't make it for me anymore. Let's go. All right, guys, this first one has a hilarious story with it, and it did sway my decision on whether I kept this one in my collection or not. This is a spicy, aromatic, it's kind of green, but it has lavender. And what I found out about lavender is women are hit or miss with lavender. And guys, if you are wearing lavender, it can get old manish real quick if you don't play it right and if you don't have the right notes to support it. But this is lavender, green apple, I think it has black pepper and tonka bean in it. But this one from Salvatore Ferragamo is F Black, or F by Salvatore Ferragamo Black, or something like that. But this fragrance, guys, I used to talk about this one, and this was like my guy dressed in a black suit or a tuxedo. Yes, it does give that vibe, but I got to the point where I just don't like this fragrance anymore, and I got rid of it. I gave it away. But before I did, I was actually wearing this fragrance around a friend of mine who's a female, and she smelled it and she was like, "Hey, what's that you got on?" I'm like, here goes another compliment, you know what I mean? And I was like, oh, this is, you know, Salvatore. I'm feeling myself. I'm like, this is Salvatore Ferragamo, baby, you know, this F Black. And she was like, yeah, don't wear that again. I was like, oh, what? I had to look her in the face. I was like, for real? She was like, yeah, that ain't it, Playboy. And I was like, wow, really? She was like, yeah. So guys, like my boy T Smell Good would say, I got shut down on that one. She shut me down on it. So yeah, man, I got shut down on F Black, but I was already converting F Black or Black Ferragamo. I was already converting it to like a workout fragrance or a fitness, something that I would wear just kind of when I was in the gym or something like that. But even then, guys, there is something, eventually there was something wrong with this fragrance, the way it dried down. The mixture of the lavender and the tonka bean and the black pepper just didn't come together for me. I'm not saying it's a bad fragrance. I just don't like it anymore, and I will never have a bottle of this ever again. And I did have this in a fragrance video of mine. I think it was work fragrances or fragrances to wear to work or something like that, and they could be seductive. I believe that any fragrance almost can get compliments, but this one, when I got that negative compliment, I was like, man, she's right. Like, if I didn't believe her, I would have kept the fragrance. Like, her saying that wouldn't have just made me give away a good fragrance, but that kind of reinforced the fact, and she knows fragrances, so that was kind of reinforced the fact that I was like, yeah, I got to get rid of this one. I'm not in love with it anymore. So I found someone that really loved it, really liked it, and I gave it to them. But I thought that was a funny story. On to the next one. All right, the next fragrance that we're gonna kill off is a very, very popular one. This fragrance was uber popular probably maybe about 2 years, 3 years ago. It started to die out. This used to be called the ultimate men's date fragrance, and I see why, but man, it's not just a date fragrance anymore. This thing is straight dated, and that one from Dolce&Gabbana is the one Eau de Parfum. Guys, if you still have this one in your collection, you may want to do a gut check on this one, man, because look, I've been shuffled this one around. Now, I did even have this on Instagram. This has been in 1 or 2 of my fragrance videos. It It just smells dated. I don't think it's a bad fragrance. It just gives an early 2000s vibe. I don't remember when this one came out or even the EDT, but the EDP was a hyped up one that everybody talked about a couple years ago. And guys, I just cannot do it anymore. I'm not saying it smells bad, because I actually did smell somebody wearing it and I gave them a compliment, and this was probably last year. I think it was last. So it does. You can get compliments from almost anything, like I said, but this one is too dated for me. I definitely fell completely out of love with it. I know it gets compliments, but I refuse to wear it. I shuffled this one out, gave it to somebody. It hits on a lot of cylinders, guys, so you get the tobacco and the dry down. To me, it's not that quality of a tobacco. It's not supposed to be photorealistic, but it does give it a little bit of legs. So you do get a little bit of sprightliness up top. You get a little bit of ginger up there, but it has an old school feel to it. To me, the Dolce&Gabbana one, Eau de Parfum, just not player. Just not player no more for me. But yeah, so that one, out the door, gone. On to the next one. All right, I'm having fun with this list. I'm having way too much fun telling you guys which fragrances I can't stand anymore. But this next one, guys, is probably the most popular and the most hyped fragrance of about 3-4 years ago. Mint and green apple. Man, when this thing came out, I think about 10 plus years ago, it took the fragrance world by storm, and guys were just spraying this down. From the house of Versace is Versace Eros. Now, green apple, vanilla, you had oak moss in there, and of course you have the mint up top of the green apple. When it came out, when I first smelled it, to me it was very unique, because not many fragrances went the way of Versace Eros, the EDT, the OG. And guys were really killing it, because every time we wore this back in the day, women were going crazy, man. This was just like Dior Sauvage EDT, which is another one I refuse, can't do it, I gotta go to. But that we're gonna leave that out of this video. We're gonna talk about Versace Eros, and this one is still good. It's still good, but to me, it smells so dated. And I've even put Eros in 1 or 2 of my fragrance videos, like I said, and I think I've even had it on Instagram and telling people, hey, it's good, especially for my younger guys. It's good, especially if you're around a woman that has never smelled it before. But unfortunately, most women have smelled Eros, because tons of guys wear it. If you go to a bar, a popular bar or a lounge or a club, you are going to smell Eros one way or another. So I'm not saying it smells bad, but to me, it's just played out. I cannot do Versace Eros anymore. That's it. I know it still works. I know women still love it, and I know it still gets compliments, but can't do it, guys. So Versace Eros, EDT, pow, gotta go. On to the next one. Too much fun, too much fun. All right, this next one, guys, it does have a backstory on this one. I got this one, and I actually relate this one to a young lady I met at the time. She was very special to me at the time. She still is to this day, but I got this fragrance just before I met this person, and to this day, she loves this fragrance. But this one, guys, from the house of YSL is YSL L'Homme. This is the original, the EDT. This is the ginger and lemon drying down to, I think it's oak moss and vetiver in there. Guys, and tonka bean. This is the epitome of something smelling dated, all right? You're going to smell like everybody in the whole entire world that has ever put on a fragrance, or what a lot of people call colognes. This has the typical cologne smell. This is the DNA that most people go for when they first get into a fragrance. It is bright, it's kind of citrusy, not kind of citrusy, it is citrusy, and it has that tonka bean in there. It's an awkward tonka bean though. Like it's very mass appealing, almost too much so. YSL L'Homme had to go, but I didn't get rid of it. I still have my bottle. It's way back in my collection. It has a tiny bit left. I got the small bottle, I didn't get the big 100 ml, but has a tiny bit left, and I'll keep it for sentimental reasons, because it did represent a part of my life that is gone now. But every once in a while I break it out and I smell it, and I'm like, dang, it reminds me of that day I met her, but which is good. But the fragrance itself, gotta go. On to the next one. Okay, now this next one, I know it's gonna make some people mad, even my brother, because he says that he wanted to check this one out. Now, you know what? He's gonna get a free bottle of this fragrance, guys. This one's from Moschino, and this is Toy Boy. Man, listen, I had Toy Boy on a rose video that I did a long time ago. All right, so well, a long time ago, about a year and a half ago when I first started YouTube. Talked about rose fragrances, and Toy Boy was in there because for me, every time I wore Toy Boy, there was a woman around. They were grabbing for my shirt, my neck, get a hug or something. Toy Boy just had that special alluring effect on it, all right? And to me, to this day, it still does. Pear, rose, sandalwood, ambery, I think it has vetiver in there, so it's really clean and it's more complex than you would think a fragrance would be at this price point. So I think for 100 mils, I think I probably paid like $40 for this thing at discounters, and I'm telling you, it did the trick. Every time I wore it, this was a great pear fragrance, did the thing. It's been out for about 10 years now, and it, to me, it just doesn't smell, I don't know, maybe it's my bottle, you guys can attest down in the comments, but for me, Toy Boy just ain't it no more. I just can't do it. I will give it away to my brother if he likes it. He says he wants to check it out. I'm just gonna give it to him. Before he even tests it, man, I'm giving it to him. So he ain't got a chance to say no. But no, it's not a bad fragrance. It's just, to me, it's getting dated. It's getting to the point where I have things that have, of course, rose in them that do smell so much better. I have way better options than Toy Boy. And this year, and a little bit of last year too, I found myself in springtime kind of skipping over Toy Boy. If you guys love Toy Boy, I'm sorry, but yeah, that one, getting the Carrie Germain boot. Now one, I want to give you guys, now this is really gonna piss people off because the last video that I did, or the best of spring, or the spring green that I did, I got a comment from somebody, and if you're watching, I'm sorry I didn't look at the comment again, I don't remember your name, but he said, you can't do a spring video without talking about green Irish tweed. A spring green video without doing the green Irish tweed. And I was like, yeah, a good fragrance. But at the same time, it doesn't get the ladies' reactions like the other creeds that I have. Green Irish tweed is a great fragrance, guys. I just haven't worn it in a long time. And I think it's good. It could be good for a lot of people, but for me, it just didn't do what I expected it to do. When I wear it, it smells good, but y'all gotta understand, this fragrance came out, I think, in 1985. To me, this is an example of a timeless classic, but it does have that very, very formal feel. It has a dressed up feel. I will be wearing GIT, but it's going to have to be in certain situations. So it's good for that dressed up, especially if you got on a suit, black suit, it's springtime in the evening and you're going out to something like that, something formal. Perfect fragrance. That all black bottle is beautiful. I love it. But to be honest, I just don't get that $400 use out of it like I should. And I have a lot of fragrances like that. I spend all this money, but I don't get them the much use because I have so many. But Green Irish Tweed has just been pushed to the back as far as my Creed collection. So I will be wearing it, just not as much. Maybe next year y'all see it in the spring video if I bring it back. But either way, guys, what fragrances do you guys have that you just have kicked out, given away, traded for, whatever? If you sell fragrances, let me know. What fragrances do you guys just want to get rid of, or you have gotten rid of? And any of these that I listed that you guys still wear that you think I'm crazy for giving it away. But either way, guys, thank you so much for stopping by and checking out this crazy fun video. And hit that like button on your way out. Until next time, keep smelling good.